brilliant speed with vibrant service, vibrant broadband internet.
Oh, yeah. It is that time. It is 10:30. And it's a fishing weekend. That's why I did say that. So,
I like
okay?
it. I like it.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
All
I like
right.
fishing.
Very good.
So thanks for having us, Woody.
Sure.
Thanks for listening, audience, and thanks, KLFD. So, fishing and opener and spring and cleaning are all things that we do this
Spring
time of
cleaning?
year. Yes.
Oh, gosh.
So, spring cleaning. We're going to actually talk about digital spring cleaning.
Oh.
So, with the nice weather outside and the gardening and all that other stuff, we just thought, when it's a kind of a little bit of a windy day and you don't really have anything to do, you can just sit and scroll and delete. So, there's a
Scroll
lot.
and delete.
Let me grab my phone.
Scroll and delete.
Okay, I'm ready.
Right?
Let's start with your phones and your tablets and your, what we call them, handheld devices, basically. First thing I always tell everybody to do is update your software. A lot of people think, well, I don't want to update because it'll change a bunch of stuff. I don't care about the changes. I like how it works now. The biggest reason for software updates is typically for security. They've identified flaws, or people have hacked into some stuff and they've done things to fix that. So update your security, your software on your phone, your computer, your tablet, all that stuff. That's the first thing you do. Same with your apps. We all have apps on our smartphones. Some of us have hundreds of apps on our smartphones.
Did you check?
And these apps also have updates. And a lot of times your phone can be set to automatically update, where it automatically updates them in the background. You don't really have to deal with it. But it's always a good time to take a minute, make sure your apps are up to date, again, for security or new features, stuff like that. And then also you can check your privacy and location settings. Some of the apps you download without you even realizing it, you may have a game on your phone that for some reason is tracking your location, and you can turn that off. It's like, this app doesn't need to know where I am. There's a lot of privacy settings and location services that you can turn on and off depending on the apps and the service you're using. So it's always mindful to kind of keep an eye on that, check it every now and then, and maybe make changes as you need.
Yeah, before the show, we were talking about this topic, and last night I sat down on my phone and I thought, I wonder how many apps I have on my smartphone, my personal smartphone. And Jeff, take a guess at how many I would have. I know these two know because we talked.
How many did you say you had?
I guessed 250. I had 103.
103. I was just going to say whatever she has, double it.
Okay. I have 319 apps.
Yes.
I meant triple it.
I know. And speaking of spring cleaning, I have to sit down and spring clean those apps because I know I
that's
use.
what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I use probably 20 or 30 of them a lot, and maybe another 20 once in a while, and then the rest are just sitting there and taking up space. So, like Nathan said, just go through the phone, and you probably downloaded it, tried it out, and it's like, I don't use it. But instead of deleting it, it just kind of sits there in the background.
Well, some of them too, you have to pay for. And I know Apple, I get an email, do you want to renew this? And typically it's my kids, right? So I'm like, save $20, delete.
Exactly. So it's a good reason to go through that. And the same with your laptop and your computer. Just like Nathan said, the biggest thing is security. Make sure your operating system is up to date. Windows it seems like every other day they've got an update, and a lot of it has to do with security. If you have a Mac, it's less often, but the updates are usually a little bit bigger, take a little bit longer. But do that, and the apps or software, an application, that's what it's short for. It's just a piece of software. So on your laptop or computer, it's called software, and just make sure that your software that you use is up to date, current, and plug in security holes there. And uninstall software that you're not using. The same thing like the apps on your phone. If there's a piece of software that you're not using, or like Jane said, paying for, that you may not know on a monthly basis, uninstall that or cancel that subscription. That's a good way to spring clean that.
We are in a technology world with tons of emails coming at us, right? And, how many times have you been to a store and they've asked you to add your email to the receipt or email the receipt to you, right? So that is an opportunity for them to send you some things that you necessarily don't want.
Should they be able to?
Yeah. So, you have to go in there and unsubscribe, right?
Yeah.
And I can't tell you this is probably my pet peeve of an email. I hate going through my personal email and deleting all of these dumb subscription things like this.
Yep.
So
That's what I've been doing.
I know.
I'm glad you're doing what we're actually saying. That's so awesome.
Unsubscribe.
But anyway, it's like going back in there, you have to delete them. And in fact, some of them are really complicated. You can't even hit unsubscribe. You have to actually send them an email requesting you to remove it.
Yeah.
So when we were doing this, when Shane was doing the research to the show, he found this great app. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's called Unroll.me. And you can basically go in there and it controls all of the subscriptions.
Really? They've got a bunch
Yep.
of them, huh?
And it's free.
Yeah.
Shane
It's
checked it
cool.
out.
It's a free website or whatever. It's called unroll.me, .me that is. And it works with Gmail, Yahoo Mail, iCloud, Hotmail, Outlook, .com and those kinds of things. It won't work with Outlook 365 or like a lot of businesses have an Exchange server. It doesn't work with that.
No.
But for all your personal stuff, it will summarize the newsletters you want to keep and it'll help you unsubscribe to the ones that you don't.
Right. And then if you really do want to save an email and you don't want it in your inbox, you can actually create a subfolder, title it something, and then drag it into that folder so you know
and then
exactly.
you can go ahead and
Yep.
delete it.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you don't delete it, you just drag it so that way it's not in your inbox, filling your inbox up.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, I send emails out to a lot of the subscribers and different things. And so I send emails out and I just have a little form, a folder that I call forms. And then I just go in there when I want to send something to them.
Okay.
So that works. And then, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of organization, set up filters and folders on your email. Pretty much every email service, you can create folders of important stuff, not important stuff, and just drag and drop it. So it cleans up your inbox. I know I get lost in my email inbox if I don't do some organizational stuff to kind of keep on top of stuff. You can even set automatic rules where if you put in like keywords, it'll automatically move that email to a certain folder that you can deal with it later. So there's some nice stuff you can do to kind of stay organized via email. And then search and purge, search for a topic in the search bar, and then you can delete in mass groups. A lot of email, Gmail, Outlook, iCloud, a lot of these will automatically do sorting some now. Some of them will do like your primary inbox of things that the system thinks are important, and then it might do a promotional one where it tries to detect when someone's selling you ads or promotions, and it puts those in those folders. So some of the systems are getting pretty smart to do some of this stuff for you. And then identify ones that do need a response, you do need to act on, and maybe deal with those. The more organized you are, the more you'll be able to keep track of the important ones. And then you can also snooze emails now too, where you can snooze an email that, well, I need to deal with this, but I'm busy right now. I'll snooze it and it'll pop up later. It's just ways to stay organized via email, because we all know we can get lost in the email box these days.
For sure. And one of the biggest things that you should spring clean is your photos on your phone.
Oh, really?
That takes up a lot of space. And sure, it's a good reason to upgrade your phone to the next biggest, capacity the next time around. But, keeping all those photos on your phone just can slow it down. And it also just takes up a lot of space. And, purge the old ones or the duplicates and that kind of thing to make room for the new ones. Now, if you're tech savvy and you know how to kind of go in and do things in the background, one of the best ways is to get an external hard drive, copy them to that external hard drive, and save them that way. Delete the ones on your phone and kind of start fresh. Or you can connect it to your computer, and if your computer's got enough capacity, you can copy them to your computer. But I mean, over the
There's
years,
some cloud things you can send them.
well, that was, yeah. So if you're not tech savvy, obviously, use cloud-based tools.
Yeah.
Amazon Photos is free. I think it's unlimited space, free if you have an Amazon Prime account. Mm-hmm. And with a Prime account, of course, you get the TV thing, and you get 2-day shipping and all that fun stuff, right? But that's a good way to store photos.
Is it easy to recall things from there?
Oh, yeah, because it's connected to your phone directly.
Okay.
And actually, it'll upload photos in the background. Google Photos is the same way.
Right.
So Google Photos gets you so much space for free, and then you can pay for the next tier. I pay like $1.99 for the next tier of Google Photos, so I get 100 gigabytes for $1.99 a month, and and my phone connects automatically, and it'll just upload into Google Photos in the background. I don't have to do anything, right? And then so they're saved there. So if you delete them off your phone, it won't delete them off your cloud server. But as your space grows, you're going to have to maybe upgrade your space on Google Photos or Apple iCloud. They have the same kind of a thing. So if you're not tech savvy, that's a good way to do it, to go into that. But spring cleaning your photos is probably one of the biggest ways you can save space on your phone, especially if you have like the entry-level phones that are 128 or even 256 isn't that big anymore these days when you're talking photos and video.
Oh, what I know.
Right? Nathan's going to touch on some smart home spring cleaning.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Shane was talking about, I use Google Photos. I'm a big believer of it. I pay for extra storage. My wife does iCloud, so we both are kind of in that in different things, but it's so nice. It automatically back up. I can check it remotely on any device. I can even connect it to smart home devices. I have some smart home devices like Google Display and some Google TV displays, and I can sync it to a folder in my Google Photos so that I can just have a slideshow playing of my favorite photos of like my kids and trips we've gone on and stuff like that. So not only is it great for backing up, you can integrate some of this stuff together. So speaking of smart home devices, it can be good to kind of organize what you have in the house, what you're still using, what you're not using, and what needs to be updated. You know, because you may have a smart speaker like an Alexa speaker, Google speaker, or what like that. You might have smart light bulbs, or maybe you're more sophisticated and you got a garage door opener or a front door lock, a doorbell camera, stuff like that. Well, these things typically do need updates. They need to kind of be checked on every now and then, make sure they're up to date, make sure they're working properly. A lot of this stuff updates automatically, so you may not have to worry about it as much, but it's always a good time to check it, see what you're using, what you're no longer using. Maybe you need to remove some stuff from some of your programs because you no longer have stuff connected. It's also good to reset electronics periodically. I know we plug in a lot of electronics and just stays powered on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But it's hard for some of these things to run all the time. So it's good to unplug them, reset them every now and then, kind of freshen them up, stuff like that. And then you could also set a lot of routines with smart home stuff where, and you may need to update those. Like when I get home, I can have it automatically turn on some lights and do some different things, and when I leave, kind of the opposite. So it's a good time to take a few minutes to kind of see what you have, what you're interested in, or maybe you don't have some of this stuff, and now's the time to jump into it. So just something to keep an eye on. You know, springtime's a good time to do it.
Right. We also have social media that is a huge thing that you can be working on with deleting things. So you can look at deleting your old posts from when you first opened your account at the age of 15.
Right.
Maybe those most embarrassing moments that somebody
They
shared
didn't
with
even
you.
have the internet when I was 15.
No, I suppose they didn't.
No.
Me either. And then pay attention to the privacy settings. We had talked about that earlier, but just make sure that people aren't in your business and it's confidential for the people that you want it to be. And then unfollow or unfriend people that you're no longer connected to anymore, or you just a lot of clutter, different things in there, want to get rid of it. And then the old conversations that you have or notifications that are old as well. And then change your password to make sure that you're doing that two-step authentication process, so that way it's more secure in your situation. And then deactivate and delete unused accounts, which can be vulnerable if you're especially not paying attention to them.
Exactly. One more thing that we want to talk about spring cleaning, and this is just as important as like your phone, is your streaming device. Mm-hmm. So go through your streaming device. You know, if you're not watching a channel, you can remove that from your homepage. Also, again, double check what you're paying for, because you might be paying for a channel that you're just not watching. Mm-hmm. You know, it could be $5.99 a month, but then that adds up. So you have 2 or 3 of those. You can unsubscribe to them. And so it's a good way to go through your streaming device and spring clean that digitally as well.
Yeah, it's just a good time. There's a lot more we could even talk about, but staying decluttered and staying on top of updates, stuff like that, it's just going to help you down the road. It's going to help you stay more secure. It's going to help you stay on top of what you need and what you no longer need, stuff like that. So, we talk about spring cleaning and clearing out the garage, cleaning out the basement, stuff like that. But there's a lot of digital stuff we need to keep on top of as well. So, and we wanted to remind everybody, we do have a Dreaming of Streaming event that's going to be next Wednesday, a week from today. This one's going to be in the Litchfield at the Meeker Co-op office here. It's going to be at 5:30. We generally start right on time at 5:30. These usually run maybe an hour, give or take. We do a short demonstration about what streaming is, why it might be better for you, some different options for streaming, and then we do kind of a demo and Q&A session where people can really see what it looks like, hold the remote, kind of ask questions about it. It's just really a good time for people that have heard about it, maybe interested in it, or paying too much for cable, and just maybe need a little bit of help because there's not a lot of support for some of this stuff. So it's a free class, open to the public. Come on out. You don't have to have Vibrant or be a Meeker Co-op member. It is, we kind of welcome all people. So that's just right by the Sure Stay Hotel right on Highway 12 here in Litchfield at the Co-op office.
And also, we are having a huge birthday party for Nathan on May 21st.
For Nathan?
Boy.
Well, actually, we are going to be celebrating our 90th year in business for our
But let's
electric.
call it his birthday.
It's all about Nathan.
Well, it is on my birthday.
It is all about Nathan.
Well, there you
So
go.
members,
I figured it was just the most elaborate surprise
Free cake.
party.
Right?
The co-op, the whole company is yeah, exactly.
Sure.
well, actually, the Meeker members and the Vibrant subscribers are invited to come out and enjoy some Wattenhofer pork chops. They start at 12:30, goes till 6. We have great food, learning about a lot of tools of the trade. Visit all the employees there. There's bouncy houses for the kids, a petting zoo, and then just come talk to us about Vibrant.
Beautiful.
And if you have any questions, you can just give us a call, 693-3231, or learn about us on vibrantbroadband.com. Catch us on the replay, Facebook or YouTube. Search for Vibrant Broadband. And then listen live every Wednesday at 10:30 on KLFD.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, audience, for listening. My name is Shane.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Nathan.
Tune in next week for another Vibrant You Live.
Brilliant speed with vibrant service. Vibrant broadband internet. Vibrant broadband internet.